Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along with the power of the pen. Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along.
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, yes. Everybody, come on. Let's have an applause for Tanisha Hall.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Adib. Happy birthday, Adib.
Yeah. What's up, Root? I see y'all logging in. I see everybody coming in. I'm so glad to have everybody in here. How are you doing, Tanisha?
Good. It's been a fun-filled day. It's been, you know, it's been Tuesday, and I had fun time at taught at my school earlier. You know,
Yeah.
Ready for end of the year performances, and yeah, so it's been a lot.
So some of the people on here may not know exactly why you are so busy, right? So I want you to give them just a little bit about who you are, where you're located, and what it is you do.
So my name is Tanisha Hall, and I'm the founder of Whitehall Arts Academy, which is a nonprofit performing arts organization, primarily music school based in South Los Angeles. Started it 12 years ago in 2011. And I started just transitioning out of working in the music industry with our good friend Keith Harris, a fellow Berkeley alum. And so I transitioned out of the music industry, and I was also working with Shaka Khan and the Shaka Khan Foundation, and we were doing a lot of work with the youth in Watts. And it was through that work I did with Shaka and her foundation that just opened my eyes to everything happening here in South LA and the major disparity that was happening in the education. You know, that's literally 10 miles from Hollywood, you know. And so I decided that I didn't want to transition back into the music industry, and I wanted to do something else. And I'm also a mom, so my kids were getting older, so being at the studio all night wasn't really conducive to now having, you know, school age children.
I understand.
And, so it was the perfect transition. And this building that we're in is a building that my grandparents purchased in 1978. And then Whitehall Arts Academy was blessed to purchase it from them in 2018. And
wow.
We've been here in South LA. So now, besides just teaching music lessons throughout the day, we have contracts at 4 schools here in South LA. Looking to open up 2 more in the fall. We teach, somewhere between 150 to 200 people a year in private lessons. I have, besides myself, I have 15 other teachers that work underneath me. We have community programs on Saturday.
My goodness.
Kids and adults come and they take their classes and they take lessons. And we just had our big spring concert Sunday before last, where our kids and adults were able to come and perform at, we have a partnership with the church across the street, so we do our concerts there. This year we just produced our first play in association with amazing playwright out here, Brandon Rainey. So it's called Why We Sing, based on the music of Kirk Franklin. And
let's go.
Yeah, so we're doing some fun stuff that keeps me, you know, I say my 9 to 5, which is really like a 8 to 8, is teaching music, and then my second shift is being a mom. So then I go home and my kids, like, you know, and they're not babies anymore. Like my baby is 13, but you know, I get home and it's just like I got to give them my full attention, and then like bedtime is at 11, and then we start back again at 6. So it's a lot.
Tanisha, that is amazing. That is amazing. Wait, hold on. I got to do this one more time, because I just was not prepared for all of the accolades. Like, this is, one more time. We're going to give you an applause one more time.
Hey, Dawn.
Listen, you are doing the thing, Tanisha, and that is great. And I salute you. You're like the real live Sister Act. You got the real life Sister Act going on in LA. So let me ask you this. What are the age ranges of your students?
You know, truthfully, we teach, my youngest student is 4. My oldest is 80.
Wow. So you guys are doing this, and this is to the community. This is open to the community, right?
Yeah, so we teach private lessons. We also have our group classes. But like my day is kind of like this. I start off and I usually do Zooms with people internationally or on the East Coast. And then I have my older, you know, my octogenarians, you know, who are retired and they're in their 70s and their 80s. And I usually do a couple of them. And then I'll go and I'll do some like 20-year-olds who are fun employed and they're figuring it out. And then I go to school and I do the schools. Then we have the after school rush. And then it's the evening, you know, rush from like 7 until about 9, you know. And that's a whole other group of people. So it's really interesting and it keeps us busy and, you know, we enjoy all we do. We also have partnerships at other community centers and where we go and we're their music program on site there. So there's a lot.
Take us back a little bit, Tanisha, just so some of you may not know, and I see some of our friends on here. Dawn is in the chat.
Hey, Dawn.
Hey,
Phil.
We went to Berklee College of Music together. So we studied at school together. What was your major, Tanisha?
Music business.
Music business. You got out of college and you got right into music business, right? You did say how you had some experiences, but you decided after working with Shaka Khan and the foundation that this is the lane you wanted to get into. Was this an easy decision to make, or was this an easy move to make out of the business side into the education piece?
Well, it's one of those things. I started teaching as a side hustle when I was, I think, 23, 24.
That was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
And the crazy thing is, we've kind of had this full circle moment recently where my first student, I was 24 when I started teaching her in my parents' living room. And I started teaching her when she was 3, and she is now 24.
What?
So, I guess I was 21. I was super young when I started teaching. So I just started teaching because LA is really expensive, and I needed a side hustle.
Yeah.
So I started teaching Gwen, and so I always taught on the weekends. No matter what I did, I was sitting at church. I came here and started singing at Crenshaw Christian Center. And I got, people wanting me to teach them through there. And so it was like this little, kind of like side hustle that I had throughout my whole entire career. Like, don't mess with my weekends, my Saturday mornings and Sundays. And, God made the transition for me because he decided in the top of 2011 that everything I was doing, I was not going to be doing it anymore. And,
God, made a decision. I love it.
God made the decision. And, the P's were ready to take a break. So Keith had to kind of transition things, and then Shaka was ready to transition from the foundation. So like my main sources of income, kind of dried up immediately. And the crazy thing was I had started a life coaching business because you were like, oh, Tanisha, you're so great. You're so put together. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all don't understand. It's a lot of work. So one of our...
But you do it well. You do it so well.
One of our fellow Berkeleyites, Tiwa Savage, she came to me. She's like, Tanisha, can you show me? I need to know how to be you. Help me be you. And I was like, baby, I can't help you be me because it's a lot of work. I said, but I can help you be you. Great. So I worked with Tiwa and got her all put together. And then she goes to Nigeria and becomes the Beyonce of Nigeria. And I was like, what? So then I was like, I tried to start like a personal development company.
Yeah.
And so I was doing this personal development life coaching company. And then when everything kind of fell apart, well, not fell apart, but transitioned, I'll say, I needed to make more money. So I started just getting more students and teaching. And I was blessed to be one of the inaugural teachers on a website called takelessons.com. And so I started just getting a lot of more students through there. And so I was really pushing this personal development company. And Groupon had just started.
Come on
so
now.
I contacted them, and I was like, can y'all get my company's called Personal 10, like, can I post it on there? So I had reviews for lessons and reviews for the personal development. And the guy at Groupon was like, okay, but what about those lessons? Like, can we post the music lessons? And I was just like, I guess I'm broke, so yeah, go ahead, but like, why not? So they did it. It was really successful. So then we did another round, and he was like, all right, we want to post the lessons again. It was so. I was like, okay, but why not my Personal 10 company? Why not that? And he was like, I'm gonna be honest. People who need a life coach can't afford a life coach, and people who can afford a life coach get therapy.
Wow.
I said, wow.
Yeah, that's a wow moment right there.
I'm released. I said, put them lessons up.
Put the
Put the lessons up.
Let's go.
I came here to this building to visit my grandmother because her hair salon was here, so I would come and visit her. And I was like, oh, this is a commercial building. And I was starting to get more students, and teaching at home wasn't really the thing because, again, as soon as my kids would come home from school, it was like a problem. And so I was like, oh, asked my grandmother if I could use the address as an address until I found a space. And, my granny being a hustler like me, she was like, well, if you need a space, you're looking to rent, you could rent this, this part is going to be available. First thing out of my mouth, I'm going to build a music school. So build a music school, scrape together my little money. My parents helped me. We scraped together some money and, self-funded the whole renovation. And, taught my first lesson here September 12th, 2011. And I was in here by myself with because when you have 15 students spread across 7 days, every day you see like 2 people, right?
Yeah, that's humble. That's humble beginnings.
I was like, okay. And I was blessed to have this one student, Isabella, and her family would, they would book out a bunch of lessons. I would see Isabella for like 3-4 hours a day, and she kept the lights on for years. And so, me and Isabella being here shooting videos and doing, we just doing everything we could do because it was just me and her.
Yeah.
And, so it was very humble. We were in here painting the walls, like this room, me and my kids painted because the contractor wanted to charge $9,000 to paint. And I was like, I got 5 kids. We could do this.
Make it happen, baby. We gonna make it happen.
My baby Joshua was in his diaper, and we was in here like
we both got a Joshua. Yeah. So Tanisha, people don't understand our passion, right? They don't understand our passion, and sometimes when you don't get our passion, you don't understand our purpose. Out of all the things that you could have done, let me step back. This past Sunday, my pastor preached about being change agents. And how that's what our purpose should be as believers, right? But even in other capacities of our lives, we find ourselves being change agents. And you, my friend, are a change agent. You are so passionate about what you do, about the children that you work for, right? Out of all the things that you could have done, why do you decide to contribute music to your community and to others, and to nurture and to groom other musicians and creatives in music?
Again, I think I didn't choose it, it chose me, right? And I started playing piano when I was 1, and it's something that I did, it took me through my whole entire life. And again, I never was like, I'm going to build it. It wasn't like part of my trajectory like when I was at Berkeley. But you remember back at Berkeley, I was like Little Miss Berkeley. I was
yes, you were.
Yes, you were. People and running people all over and tutoring. And
Tanisha's hair was up in a bun. Her glasses was on, and you just saw her going from one place to the other.
Yep, always. And it's that same, it's a story like when the church we went to before we moved to Massachusetts, it's out here in California. And I remember I found like this suitcase roads in the one of the basements. My mom was a minister, one of the ministers at the church. So we found a suitcase roads, and I went to the pastor and I was like, Pastor, can I use this and make a youth band? And he was like, I don't care what you do. So I would drag it up the stairs every Wednesday and Sunday, and I got everybody together and made a youth praise team. And we were terrible, and we got good, and and it's like, that's just always what I've been as a unifier. It's just been, I'm a person that, maybe these days they call it ADHD. I just call it doing multiple things at once. I'm a multitasker. So
come on, yeah.
I don't just sit around and idle time is not something I'm familiar with. So that's just,
as we can tell.
Get on me. They're like, nobody's like you. You can't think everybody's like you. And I'm like, no, but you can try. You can try. So. But that's just always been me. And, I really, I really subscribe to the scripture. He says, many are called, but few are chosen. And to whom much is given, much is required. And my family is very blessed. And I grew up never lacking for anything and being very blessed. And I've always felt that it's my duty, or that's part of my job as a Christian, my calling, you know,
Wow.
is to open, you know, and provide equity. And that was one of the things when I was working with Shaka and I saw these kids in Watts, and I'm like, whoa, this is not how it should be. And the thing about it is most people who are in their situations, they do not know that they're in lack.
They don't even know it.
They don't know that how what they're dealing with is not how it's supposed to be.
Because they become so accustomed to it, right?
That's all you've ever known. And many of them, like I would take, and on my own time, I would take these kids out, you know, Hollywood Boulevard. And, you know, one time we, and that was Shaka's program, was all about access and just showing them that there's a better life. And one time we took the kids on a field trip to this mansion in Beverly Hills. And so we were on the bus, myself and the executive director, we were just talking on the bus. All of a sudden we heard an audible gasp. We're like, oh! And we were like, what happened? What happened? And we go and look, and all the kids are plastered to the windows of the bus. And we were driving up Rodeo Drive, like past the shop, but in the house parts, right? Because we were going up there. So we're driving, and they see these mansions. Now we know, like, those are the mini, they ain't the mansions. Those are the mini mansions. And these kids are like, oh my God. Mind you, we're 20 minutes from their house. We're 20 minutes. We went on 2 freeways and got off 20 minutes from their house. And they're like, oh my God, this is a different world.
They've never been
those kind
that
of things.
far.
Most of them had never, they don't go out of, let's say, I think it's like a 5 or 10 block radius. And, you know, and again, these schools are like little prisons. And, you know, it's really unfair. It's really unfair. And how can we expect somebody who's being educated in an institution, you know,
right,
to think that they can be empowered to go out into this world and think they can do something? So then here comes Miss Tanisha, you know, and I show up and I'm driving my Benz and I'm this and that. And, you know, somebody was like, Miss Tanisha, I want to be you when I grow up. And I'm like, and you can be. You can be. You do what Miss Tanisha did. You go to school and you go to college. You get good grades. You focus and you work hard. And you can have whatever you want. You can be better. Please be better than Miss Tanisha. You know, and, you know, I just, more than just, you know, music, to me, it's about giving love. And that's one of the big things I feel that separates my business, Whitehall Arts Academy, from many, because there's so many music schools out there. But we don't just do music, we do love. And that was a big thing in the pandemic. You know, a lot of lessons.
Tanisha, I love that.
Health turned into therapy sessions, and then our songwriting series that we did in the pandemic, you know, it turned into just like the songs that were coming out, and just kind of the people were looking forward to just the unifying and getting with other people, because there was just this loneliness and this isolation. And, you know, and just giving love and people knowing that, hey, if nobody loves you, you know what my Instagram name is, Tanisha loves you too. And I got that from Jesus loves you and Tanisha loves you too. And unless you do something to me to make me not love you, I'm gonna love you. So, my love is conditional. I'm not Jesus. It's conditional. But I do love Tanisha loves you, and they know, you know, that Miss Tanisha's gonna give you one of the kids at the school I teach at last week. He came up, he was like, Miss Tanisha, can I have a, he came up and gave me a hug, and I gave him a hug. I was like, hey, baby, you know, he goes away. And he was like, Miss Tanisha, can I have another hug? And I was just like, yeah, whatever. He's like, your hugs are so comforting. And I was like, oh my God, child, if you don't get back to your class.
Tanisha, let me ask you, okay, goodness, wow. You know what's amazing? Let me tell you what's amazing, because as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about our time at Berkeley, right? And I'm thinking about some of the things that I know that the things that have transpired from the time we left school and to our full adult lives now, right? The children and the people that you're working with now, like you said, they are just maybe 20 miles away from realizing their full potential, right? And the possibilities of their lives. And as I was talking about, you know, when I started off the show tonight, I was talking about the tours that are going on right now. The tours with Taylor Swift, the tours with Beyonce, and just anything happening in music today that everybody's excited and going crazy over, right? What people don't realize is all of those things and people that are happening and that are making these things happen started at somebody's school years ago.
And our teacher, Mr. Chris, is on with Beyonce, so he's not our teacher anymore. And you know,
look,
and that's the one thing that we, again, it's about providing access and letting them know, like, you don't have to be Beyonce. You can be the person that's playing keys or dancing
Come
or doing whatever.
on, like Lynette Williams.
There's so many careers. There's so many careers. And we're creating those creators who are taking advantage of those careers.
You are.
You know, I'm always telling people, like, there's more money being made by the people who have music in a video game and a commercial than people who have their songs as a top hit on Spotify, because it's all in the sync. That's where the money is now. It's in sync. And you can have your music in sync and get your music in one of these shows. There's so many media companies now. Tubi is taking over. But in all of these movies and shows, there is music.
We're gonna have a sidebar conversation. just so you know, we will be having a sidebar conversation. But this is what's also awesome too. I want to get back to my point. My point is, your students, they see you as Miss Tanisha. They see you as warm hugs. They see you as the person that is their advocate.
I also beat them too. Like, here's the thing, it's both. It's both. It's both. Some of them, you coming through the door, I'm like, let me get my weapon out, because I'm gonna have to beat you. I already know. But
you're the advocate.
Then I'm gonna hug you.
You're the advocate.
But if you come stupid, I'm gonna beat you. Go ahead.
You're the advocate and you're the disciplinary, right? But they don't also realize the knowledge and experience that you also have, that you know, like, you're not just teaching them without any direction. You're literally catapulting them into a direction because you have knowledge and you have experience in the businesses and in the field that they want to get in. And that's so amazing. You guys, I heard you talking earlier. We talked a little bit earlier, and I heard in the background, you guys have a show coming up this weekend?
Our show was last weekend. But
last
Heaven,
weekend.
Hey, Heaven, that's my little baby doll, Heaven. She has a show coming up. Heaven is one of our students who, Heaven is 14, I don't know. She's been with me since she was like 11. Now she's 14, and she's doing all these shows and performing and killing the game.
Hey,
you know,
Heaven.
But the misconception is that the majority of the people that we work with are trying to pursue a career. That's only probably about 10% of our students. Most of them are just taking music because they just want to do music. You know, the parents are putting their kids in music because guess what? When your child is in music, they say people who study music have increased test scores, they have increased spatial memory, they have increased functionality, they have higher grades, because it helps you with so many things in your development of your brain. And even with the older generations, you know, our retirees, the music helps their brains continue to function, and it reduces the amounts of dementia and all those things. So it's not just, you know, like, yes, we have people who want to pursue their careers, and that's great, but they're not the most important people who walk through our doors.
Come on,
they're just people. I mean, we had this one time, one of our students, she's on a TV show, and you know, and our rooms have glass doors, and so she was in there doing her lesson, and then another teacher had her student in the front doing this lesson, and so the teacher texted me. She was like, "Can you take your lesson into another room?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" She was like, "Because my student is freaking out because he's a huge fan of your student and he can't focus on his lesson." And I was just like, no problem, we'll move. You know, because guess what? We don't want to interrupt his lesson, right? He can't focus. So we came out, and she said hi, gave him a big hug, and then we went into the back room so that, you know, but it's not like, oh, you're VIP, let's go. No, you come right in here and do your lesson with everybody else. We're all the same. Everybody is the same, whether you're on a TV show or whether you just are a 5-year-old from up the street. You're all the same. Because as we know, this tide flips so fast. You know, you could be famous today and not famous tomorrow. And I still love you the same, and you're going to still come for your lesson. Yeah. And you still going to get beat, or you still going to get hugged. And it's going to be what it's going to be, you know? And I have this, you know, and I have to, when we get new people, new staff, people come in and they get like, oh, I'm like, no, we don't do that. We do not do that. We don't do the starstruck. We don't do anybody special. Everybody is special. That old man that just left is just as special as that celebrity that just came. Don't do that. And, I love it. And because and we have a safe space. You know, this is your safe space that you can come, and you don't put all of that behind, because of course, like, coming from the industry, we know it's all just people, and people just want to be treated like people. So thank you, girl. I'll be trying to look cute. So So I mean, I think that's just what we do, and I've worked very hard to maintain that, you know, of being the essence of, because again, it's not just about music, because we know anybody, you don't have to take lessons to be a professional musician.
Yeah. How about that?
You don't don't have to have training to do this professionally. You just have to have the will and the desire to do it. But if you do have training and if you do have lessons, then that puts you on another level and opens up your ability. But what about if you have a place that you can look forward to, and you have a community that you know loves you and cares about you, and if you're missing for a while, it's like, hey, where you been? You good? You know, and you know, we've had families that, you know, tragedies have happened. You know, a person, you know, wrote kind of a negative review. He was like, oh, she kept leaving in and out the office, you know, during my student's lesson. We had a family that had a death in the family, and, you know, they came in to see me.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We're not just about music lessons. We're about community. So yes, I'm going to leave this lesson. And this family felt that they wanted to come to tell me personally that their family member died.
Wow.
So I'm going to go out and I'm going to see about that, because that's important.
Right.
You know, that's important. You could have another lesson. They're not going to get another grandfather.
Right.
You know,
right.
and they know that we are family.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And they pressed their way there for a reason. They pressed their way to you for a reason.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I feel like that's what it's about. And there's not enough in this world today. We see so much going on. We forget that we're just supposed to care. You know, we forget that. And again, with mental health, I mean, if we cared more, we wouldn't have so many people out killing themselves and killing other people. If they just felt like somebody cared about them. And if you look at what these manifestos say, they're all, you know, feeling isolated, feeling lonely, because we're so quick to make a joke about somebody. It's so quick to tease somebody instead of so quick to say, hey, what's going on here? How can I help?
Right. Right.
I mean, we were in school together. There was a person that was in school with us, and, you know, there was a situation going on with him, and people were making fun of him. And I was like, time out. I pulled him aside. I said, hey, this is happening with you. And if you have a problem and if you need help, I will help you. This is where I keep my detergent. This is where I keep my soap. This is where I keep my deodorant. You don't have to say anything. You can just come in and get it.
Wow.
If that's what you need. Because I'm not going to just sit here and make fun of you and not offer you a solution.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like too many times, like, we just do not care, you know. And at the end of the day, when it comes to music and creativity and being creators, like, we're the introverts. We're the feelers, you know, and we put our feelings and we put it into this music.
Yeah.
And you hear what's going on in this music, like the rap, the trap is so depressing. People are so sad and so lonely. And again, myself, even as a parent, I'm a foster parent, you know, and I decided to choose children that needed love and choose children that needed a family. And because to me, that's what's important. You know, to see a need and to do something to fix that need. What can I do about that? And I just feel like too many of us right now are not looking at this world as a village that we need to work together. And, you know, I don't put myself as being a hero. I'm not a hero. I feel like I'm the base model. You know, I'm the base model. We should all be like that. You know, if you see somebody that needs something, do what you can. Yeah. You know, care. Just care. Just care. Just a little bit.
Just care. Just care. Man, this is beautiful. First of all, okay, there's something that I do on all of my shows that I do for my guests. But when I tell you, I have to do this for you. I want to play this for you because you are so deserving of this. Me and my guests and my fans and my listeners and the people that you know, we all want to celebrate you. I want y'all to throw some heart, some flowers, some fire emojis in the comments while we let Tanisha know that we appreciate her.
We appreciate you.
Hey.
Hey. Love and appreciate you. Yes, we do.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Come on, y'all.
Love and appreciate you. Yes, we do.
Hey.
We appreciate you.
So deserving. So deserving. Oh, yes. The hearts and the flowers.
Love and appreciate you. Yes, we do.
Tanisha, your heart is in the logo of your school. Your heart is on your sleeve. Your heart is in your speech. And I mean, listen, I just want you to know that if nobody told you today, you are appreciated. You are so appreciated. You go, I can tell that you go the extra mile for your students. And it's not because it's like some sort of hidden agenda. It's a default. It's all you know to do. It's all you know to do, and it just shows. It shows. I want to commend you on the work that you're doing. If ever you decide you want to come over to the East Coast and start a school over here, you got me, you got Dawn, you got some people over here. We will gladly join with you to help you and make it happen. Whitehall Arts Academy.
We're working on that. We actually have been looking at expanding to Milwaukee. So it's just the right opportunity, the right thing, and you know, the right collective of people that understand the mission and understand it's, like I said, it's bigger than music. It's about love, and it's about community, and it's about, you know what I mean, moving it forward. Because you know, you study music, so we all had those teachers throughout our lives. But who do you remember the most? Do you remember the one who was like the taskmaster, or the one who really cared about you? Maybe they pushed you, you know,
Jan
they pushed you,
Shapiro.
but, you know, they pushed you, but they, oh my God, her, jeez Louise, we had to have a talk one day. I was like, lady, what is you doing? You trying to break me? She was like, actually, yes.
Jan Shapiro. She was not a game. She was not a game.
But that's but you know, it was from love. It was from a place of love, and you know that you could go there, and I value my Berkeley days, you know, so much, and just I feel like this crew that we made, you know, back then, it was such a special collective that
very special.
Everybody's doing their things, and we come together, and that's one thing I love. Like, pretty much most of my best friends from Berkeley are still, like, I just talked to Nate earlier, talked to Keith the other day, he's on our board of directors, and you know, it's just like we have such, you know, we had such a great warm love, you know, a love for each other. And
I'm gonna reach out to Nate. I just saw his sister. I just saw her sister at a church conference. I'm gonna reach out to Nate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's out there in Connecticut.
I know. So Tanisha, normally what I do is I ask that my guests would say something encouraging, right, to those that are listening and that are watching. And it's, you know, ultimately it's going to be for them. But I want you to talk about your students. What is your ultimate desire for your students?
My ultimate desire for my students is for them to accomplish their goal. And whatever that goal is, whether it is to, I'm so happy I see some of our Whitehall staff, and we have Mr. Ryan here, Miss Anna is in here. So yeah, my ultimate desire for my students and all of our students here is to accomplish their goal, as big or as little. You know, I've had a student that came to me and was like, Miss Tanisha, I want to go to Berkeley. And we worked for like 3 years, and she went to Berkeley, you know. And I've had other ones where it's like, I want to get a record deal. We worked and got a record deal. One, Miss Tanisha, I want to get on Idol. We worked and she got on Idol. Miss Tanisha, I need to pass my final. We worked and you passed your final. You know, like as big or as little, they're still all the same. But, you know, it's all about you accomplishing your goals. Let's put a goal out there. If you just want to sing Happy Birthday better, and it might take us 3 or 4 years to do that. But if you stick with it, then we get it to like, oh snap, did you hear yourself just sing that? That was not terrible. Like, what? We did, you know? We did. Like, that was super not terrible. Like, we got it, you know? And just celebrating the little things. Like, some of my students like, don't gas me up. Like, I'm not gassing you up, trust me. Like, you know, we gotta look at the bars, right? Like, are you Beyonce? No. But are you as bad as you were? No. Like, we've come a long way. So like,
there's some progress.
That, you know, and you might not never be Beyonce, but that does not mean that you have not accomplished something, because there's across the country, there's hundreds of people playing basketball every single day. 99.9% of people that play basketball are not in the NBA. 99.9% of people who do music are not going to do it professionally. But that does not mean you should not do music because you love it. Just love it and do it and create your music. And now you can put it out too.
Now you can do so much with it. Now you can do so much with it. Oh my goodness. Tanisha.
Accomplish your goals. Just don't feel like you're too old, you're too ugly, you're too fat. Lizzo proved all you know, Lizzo proved you could be fat and you could become the biggest thing in the world. You know, Bon Iver proved you could be ugly and you can make it. You know, Lady Gaga proved, Madonna proved you could be old and you could make it. Like, you don't have none of it. You can even be untalented. There's so many people who are untalented and they made it, you know? So it's just about you having the desire. If you want it, then put yourself in the position and align yourself and manifest it for yourself and go get it. But wanting it is not enough.
Right.
Wanting it is not enough. Whitehall Arts Academy is from lots of blood, sweat, and tears. You know, lots of sacrifice, lots of, you know, years of me and my kids eating noodles and, you know, not eating, you know, sushi every day like I would choose. You know, it's just a lot of sacrifice that we've had to make. And we're going through another transition where I told my daughter, I'm like, look, girl, you have to slow down Starbucks, you know, because, you know, this wall fell down the other day, so we got to rebuild it. So we have to figure it out, you know? And it's just like,
hold off on the Starbucks.
Yeah. Like, we can't be doing Starbucks every day. We're going to have to take a break. We got to take a break. Because I just got to pay $80,000 to build a wall. So we're going to have to no Starbucks for a little bit, okay? And we're going to do that. And it's not easy. It is not, I don't know why people think it's easy. It has not been easy. And I stand here very solidly because it hasn't been easy. And I know you have to go, but to wrap it up, like last year.
This is cool.
When I was, you know, last year was our 10-year anniversary was 2011, but last year all the press started coming and I did the Kelly Clarkson show and all of that. No, girl, my kids are not in the arts. You know, you know, one of them did, but then they on the other stuff. So, you know, I started getting all this press, and one of the interviews asked me, like, well, how does it feel to get all this press? And I was like, the truth is, I thought year one, everybody was going to come knocking on my door. They were like, Tanisha, she started a music school in the hood. We need to give her a cookie. We need to put her on the news, and we need to give her accolades. I was like, Ellen DeGeneres, where you at? Why are you not calling me? They did not care. Nobody cared. I don't care who they were. They did not care.
The truth is.
But 10 years later, I did not quit and I stayed and I built something. Then they cared. They're like, oh snap, you did this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, yes, and this and this and this and this and this and this and this. This is what we did with nothing in the hood, with no money. We figured it out. You know, we, as we call it here, ghetto solutions. And we ghetto solutions it out and we figured it out and we made it work. And you know, I'm so honored now that people have taken notice of what we're doing. But again, any career, anything worth having, it's been 10 years. It took 10 years of hard work and sacrifice and striving to be the hot ticket on, you know, the new kid on the block, the hot ticket on the block. And even me, 10 years, I'm still one of the youngest ones in my position. When I go to games, you know, most of the other people are in their 50s and 60s, and I'm, you know, still just hitting mid-40s, you know, and I'm still the baby in the room, you know, 10 years in. So I see now why I didn't get the things I thought I should have had then. And now being where I am now, I'm like, I see why I didn't get those grants. I see why I didn't get those things, because I wasn't ready. And I am ready now. I've been seasoned, and I've been burnt through the fire, and I'm like, oh, no, y'all gonna give me this. Oh no, we about to get. We about to get it. You know, but it's been a long journey, and we have a long way to go. We just hit our first 10 years. You know, so.
Well, listen, you said something that I'm going to take away from this whole conversation that I want to say back to you, just so that you remember you said it. And that is, wanting it is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting it is not enough. You have to do something. You have to do something, and you have done so much. And yes, I'm sure after 10 years, it does feel good, and you do understand, and you're not going to settle. You know, you've got a lot of lessons under your belt now, right?
And I stand on the shoulders of a lot of women. That's the one thing I will say. I stand on the shoulders. I mean, you know, Shaka was a huge mentor, but her sister Tammy, who was her manager, Tammy was one of my huge mentors. And Veronica, who ran the Shaka Khan Foundation, my Jewish mother, Paula Silver, my own mother, who was my first momager. And, you know, there's a lot of women whose shoulders, my mentor here, Naomi McSwain, you know, Theon, my chair of my board of directors, Theon Gordon, my general manager, Sharon Harris, you know, all these women have helped to guide and nurture me. Like, you know, Theon, my board chair, she'd be like, Tanisha, you gotta stop saying nigga. You can't say nigga all the time. And I'm like, and you know, she's like, Tanisha, you can't go on national TV saying nigga, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, what you mean? You know, and she just, for like 2 or 3 years, she's like, stop saying nigga, stop saying nigga. You know, she knew where
you were going,
right?
Where you were going.
And you know, when the Kelly Clarkson show aired, she's like, you didn't say nigga once.
First of all, you caught me off guard, but I'm listening to you talk. 10 years ago, it was just Tanisha and maybe a couple of friends, maybe. But now it's Tanisha and a board. It's a board. You have a board. But it's the hard work is worth it.
Teresa in these comments about to be on my board in a minute. I don't know why she thinks she's not, but she's about to be the next member. I
know it was all worth it. I pray that and watching that they all realize that the hard work that they are experiencing, we talked about this earlier, the process is necessary. The process is necessary. Is it always going to be the same for everybody? No, but it's needed. It's needed.
It's a process, yeah. But it's the same. I do a lot of correlating between music training and sports training, you know, because we think like, oh, this and that. But hello, when you're training to be great at something, when you think I'm going to run a marathon, one of my students who is a professional basketball player, and he recently ran a half marathon, and he did not properly train for the marathon because he's like, I'm a basketball player. I play basketball. I work out all the time, blah, blah. And so I was like, how'd the marathon go? He was like, she said, let me tell you something about how my legs decided to quit in mile 10. He was like, I underestimated what that was. You know, and it's just like, in thinking that, yeah, you might be a professional athlete and you train, you play basketball, you run up and down the court, but that's different than running a marathon. You have to train different for a marathon, but you still have to train. You have to put the work in, right? And if I want to go and I want to be a yoga master, I can't think I'm going to show up day one and put my leg behind my head. It might take me 3 years, but I know.
Just because you got a gym membership, right? Just because you got a gym membership.
But we know I can't just show up on the court and be in the NBA, right? I can't just show up and put my leg behind my head. Why do you think you can just show up and become a big singer? Like, we talk about Beyonce, we talk about Taylor. These people, they've been groomed since little tiny kids. Taylor Swift was on the internet at 11 and 12 years old on MySpace with them little dumb songs she was writing. And those dumb songs that she was writing have now become hits because they were dumb, and she kept writing them and writing them and cultivating.
Oh my
she kept
God.
doing it. Beyonce with her little friends, 9 and 10 years old in the high heels and doing their little stuff and tripping and falling and losing Star Search and all
and going
that.
from pageant to pageant to pageant.
And look at her now. Why? Because they weren't out hanging with their friends. They weren't out doing that. Even myself, like my kids are my friends because I have no friends because I have no time. So it's just like, people like, you never have time. I do not. I'm so sorry. I cannot be where I am. I am a single mother. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing it mostly, you know, I have a great team, but most of it is on me. I don't have time to be hanging out. You know, I was like, I'm taking Mother's Day off. I took Mother's Day off even from being a mother.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you. I boycotted the kids. I boycotted the job. I just went to church, you know. And I hung out with my cousin the whole day. You know, we both boycotted our kids and just spent the day together. And it was just like, oh, we earned this day, you know, we earned it, because it's work, it's hard work, it's hard work, you know. So whatever you want to do, Estee, look at you. Your song, we sing your song. I didn't know it was your song. We sing that song at church like every third Sunday. And now I was like, y'all know my friend wrote that song. Oh, snap. You know, you don't get there because you woke up one day and wrote one song. You know, you got to write hundreds. How many songs have you written, Estee?
First of all, listen, I have so many hard drives. I have so many hard drives, and it's crazy. And you're right. You know, out of all of the songs that I've written, the world may only have heard somewhere between 15 and 20 of them. But it's been so many. And you talked a little bit earlier about how things change when, you know, you had children. And for me, life changed right around 2008, especially right around the time I started writing songs and they actually got placed, where I was married and I had a wife at home and a baby at home, and I couldn't be in the studio till 2 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So listen, when I got that first good check and I came out to California and I hung out with y'all, I got me a laptop and I got me some studio equipment. And listen, I learned how to do stuff on my own at my dining room and kitchen table. You know, because things it shifted, you know. But even with that, it went from me doing that to now I'm putting out full albums of music that I've created right in my own home. You know. But listen, Tanisha, thank you so much for coming on tonight. You've given us so much information and so much motivation and inspiration, and I'm just thankful to know you. You have not changed. Your ethic is still crazy and relentless, and this is why you have the success that you do have. This is why you have people that love you and cherish you like they do. Like I said, we salute you tonight for all that you're doing for others. You know, you have put yourself on the side for so many others, you know, so that other people can see their dreams fulfilled. And that's not a small thing. That's huge. That's huge.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's my, you know, I love teaching. I love what I do. It's not my side hustle anymore. It's my full-time hustle. And, you know, again, I value that people allow us, me and what I've built, to be a part of their lives and allow us to be a part of their village. And I don't take that lightly. I don't take that responsibility lightly. You know, everybody's extra mom. One of the students texted me, and she was, you know, for Mother's Day, so many you're my other mom. And, you know, I don't take that lightly. And I know how important it is to have a special place like that in someone's life. And it's important, you know, it's important because it's people's lives, and you never know, you know, what imprint that you're making. You never know how this one little thing is going to, and I just would say that to everybody that's watching and going to watch. You never know. I sent him to Mr. Ryan. I said earlier how one little joke could affect someone's confidence. You know, and that goes both ways. How one positive word can affect someone's positive, and one thing that you just say, and I didn't mean it that way, but that could break somebody. And it's important to care, you know. And I'll just leave it with that. Just care, and care about yourself, care about others, care about the energy that you bring into the room, because we are all powerful. And if you walk with your power, and you really respect your power. And that's the one thing I think that God showed me probably 15 years ago, that me being a caring person is not just my nature, it's my God-given gift. My gift is to be a nurturer. And once he showed me that was my gift, it's not just because I'm nice, I'm a nurturer. That's what he put in me. And I was able to create a space where that gift can be nurtured and also be protected.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, you know, as nurturers and empaths and all that, we have to protect ourselves and know that you can't save everybody. It's not my job to save you, but it is my job to be available and to care, you know, and to let you know that if nobody loves you, I'm gonna love you.
Tanisha loves you too.
Unless you make me.
Listen, y'all give it up for Tanisha, my guest on tonight. Yo, this has been amazing.
Thank you, Ed. It's such a pleasure, and I'm so proud. If I haven't said it enough to you, I'm so proud of you.
Thank
everything
you.
that you have accomplished has been such joy. Hearing your music and the impact that you have made, and having a bad day and being able to put on a song that my friend wrote, like that's so powerful. So the power of your pen, it's been amazing, and I'm honored to know you and to be in your circle.
Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along with the power of the pen. Say what's on your mind. Speak loud from within. Make us sing along